and welcome to the Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. I'm Jen.
I'm Kathleen.
And we are currently missing Amanda because she is at a child event, which we hope is going very well.
And we hope she'll be joining us later, and we expect that she will be joining us for part of the episode. So
for sure.
But we had to get started. She asked us to get started, so that is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so
we have like our nice little rainbow in front of us.
Yeah. Oh, we could have actually done it rainbow order.
Oh, that would have been smart, but nah.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to.
I kind of like it.
I do too, especially like this.
Right?
Yeah, this whole.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, definitely.
We are a podcast all about knitting, crocheting, and things you can do with yarn.
Yes.
Embroidery, sometimes spinning, although I haven't been spinning lately.
Yeah.
Basically, can you do it with yarn? Then yes. That sounds great.
Yeah. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. We're happy to be with you here today and get to chat with you.
Yeah.
And and we hope you'll find some useful info and inspo in every episode.
So catchy. And I still don't remember it.
That's okay. That's okay.
It took me I'd say a solid 2 years to be able to say hi and welcome to the Chronicles of Yarnia.
To spit out the whole initial spiel. Yeah, definitely. Now it just flows off the tongue.
Now it's just like,
yep.
I mean, there are some things where, when I was in college, I worked on the summers and the holidays, business-to-business telemarketing, which was basically
I did that in college for a while, too. Yeah.
Not even really telemarketing so much as like, hi, here's a survey. How are we doing?
Yes.
How are we doing?
Yeah.
Right?
I love doing phone surveys. And in those days, people didn't mind doing them. Like, a lot of times, like, you'd get someone on the phone, they'd be like, really? You want my opinion? And we'd be like, yes, we do.
I remember calling pilots. And they'd be like, you can't talk to Bob right now. He's up in the air. I'm like, cool. All right, I'll try back another time. But, there was one guy who's like, where are you calling from? And I'm like, New Jersey. Lovely chats.
Yeah, I did it when I was in school in Chicago. Actually, in Evanston, there was a telemarketing firm that, I actually had forgotten that I did that. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it trained me on a couple things. Number one, I can do a phone really well. I can, get to wherever I need to go. Like, hi, how are you today? I hope you're doing... I'm like, I could literally probably recite the script now, which is where I was going from the beginning. It took me
about reciting scripts,
Where it's like, hi, how are you today? I'm calling for blah, blah, blah. Are they in? And I could probably go through the entire thing, even though that's a solid, 25 years, 30 years ago?
Wow, yeah. It's amazing the things our brains hold on to.
Some things get stuck in your head. A friend of mine was going on a trip to Barcelona, and I had this past week, and I was talking to her before, and then after that, I promptly had the song Barcelona from Company stuck in my head, and I'm like, for 3 days. And I don't know all the words. So it's
just the words that you had were in your head.
Barcelona. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm annoying myself. And then I made Max watch, because my older son really likes John Mulaney. And
he is pretty funny. Yeah.
I mean, he is delightful.
You know what's so funny? I had no idea he was the guy in The Bear for the longest time. The brother-in-law or whatever he is. Did you know that? I know.
Yes, the milk toasty bread. It took me a minute. I was like, I was like, he's not any of chef.
No.
Yeah, he's the milk toasty brother-in-law.
I watched, I think, the entire series, and then somebody was like something about John Mulaney. I'm like, he's not in that. Yes, he looks so he's so different from his persona to me. His comedy persona.
Quippy. So Max was watching the Everyone's in LA with John Mulaney when he had his wisdom teeth out. And I was like,
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
how's he doing?
Need to see? He's doing much better.
Good.
He was super fun and dopey when he was high from the IV anesthetics, which was awesome. And he was like, I'm so high. I'm like, yeah, dude. And then he came down, and he was totally fine. He didn't even swell up that much. And youth.
Good.
Youth.
Sometimes and that pain management,
sticking on the pain management. He had a great oral surgeon. Apparently, everything came out really easily and all of that.
Good. Lots of ice packs on the cheeks.
Yes, just for the first day, though.
Which
was interesting to me. I was like, the whole time. He's like, no. So, like, that
They're
whole
always
Friday...
refining that kind of stuff.
I know. Exactly. Like, they're just picky about what you do when. I was like, I'm cool with that. I will do whatever. So, like...
Give me the instructions. I will follow them, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Sitting on the couch, made him some Jell-O, and I was like, okay, if you like John Mulaney, like, you need to watch this show, which is Documentary Now. And it's on Netflix. It's like a parody of all of these documentaries, and it's him. He's in the one that parodies the cast recording of Company. But then there are ones that are like,
there was a tie-in.
There's a tie-in. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this.
There's always a tie-in.
There's always a tie-in. So, I was like, we don't need to watch the whole thing because there's a lot you're not going to get. Like, one parodies Wild Wild Country. And I'm like, I, of course, have watched a bajillion documentaries. Like, one parodies Grey Gardens. And it is so funny. And it's like Fred Armisen. This is something I need
to check out.
You absolutely need to check it out.
I don't know this,
Documentary Now. So it's like Fred Armisen and the other guy I like from Saturday Night Live, Bill Hader.
Okay.
There we go. And then, so this one was a parody of the cast recording of Company, which was done by, like, D.A. Pennebaker, who, like, recorded literally the cast recording of Company that they were recording. And you can see, like, Elaine Stritch get, like, drunker and drunker throughout the whole thing and be unable to hit ladies who lunge. And Stephen Sondheim, like, basically, like, teaching people how to say booby. And... They do a note-for-note parody, but it's like the musical is co-op. But it is so good. So if you're like a musical theater nerd, if you're a Sondheim nerd, it's worth watching because John Mulaney plays the Sondheim role and sits there. And they also have Renee Elise Goldberry from Hamilton is one of the people in it. And so...
Angelica.
Exactly. And she has the... she and Alex Brightman, who was in Beetlejuice, who was in School of Rock musical, who's fantastic, do a parody of Not Getting Married. I'm Not Getting Married Today, like the Fast Patter song. I Had a Little Cocaine Tonight, because it's set in the 70s, but it's so well done. So I made him watch that, and then I was like, okay, now we need to watch the actual, like, cast recording of Company.
Cool.
So I had, like, Barcelona in my head, and then I was singing it to Max, and he's like, stop.
Sounds very fun. That's a good
way
to help him recover, right?
I know, and he's like, am I still doped up on IV meds? Maybe.
Or is it just the weird stuff you're making me watch, Mom?
or is it just my mother has control of the clicker, and I'm too tired to, like, wrest it out of her hand?
Yeah.
I was like, you get to watch John Wick 4. I'm going to make you watch some, like, culture.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, poor kid. But he's definitely doing much better.
Great.
Which was good.
That is so good.
I was a little unsure how that was going to go. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we should talk a little bit about what's going on around town.
Yes.
This weekend.
We have got, like the last, it's funny, I just came back from what I'm thinking of as a midweek weekend.
Yes.
We were trying to think of another way to describe it, so.
A midweek retreat.
Yes. It was really fun. I went away with my coffee friends that I have, or my friends that I have coffee with every Thursday morning, and we went up to the Cape. It was so nice. We've been to this house before. It is the house of the sister of one of the group of friends. Nice. And so now we're all, like, we all had our same rooms as last time and everything.
I love that.
And
you're like, it's your room.
Yeah, exactly. Now it really is my room. Like, I felt settled in last time, but now it's like,
now it's mine.
I'm not sharing. I like that room.
My room now.
But I don't know. And then Haley and I, somebody was like, well, can't you just stay in Massachusetts? Because Haley and I were in Western Massachusetts on Saturday and Sunday for a dance show at Mount Holyoke, which she was in last year, and one of her good friends was in this year, so we went up to that. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun, kind of crazy weekend. Drove back in the rain from that on Sunday. Yeah, it was really... it was
that was so much rain, too.
Zero visibility part of the time. Like, for about 10 miles through the Berkshires. It was crazy. Then I was home on Monday, and then Tuesday morning we left for the Cape. So it's like
funny.
Massachusetts, New Jersey, Massachusetts. But it was a lot of fun. But I am so tired because I've been away from home like the last 5 out of 6 days.
Yeah.
And I'm just a little pooped, but hopefully not too punchy. So I've been focused on what I've been doing, but yes, we have a lot of stuff coming up too.
Yeah, we really do. We have a lot this weekend.
So this, today, the 6th, the 5th, Saturday the 5th.
Saturday the 5th.
Is Knit for Food.
Yay!
So if you haven't already, if you haven't heard about Knit for Food, there's some information on our website. I'm sure Amanda will put a link below. And Knit for Food is a knit-a-thon that benefits 4 different charities that address food insecurity in the U.S. And basically, it's something that Laura Nelkin started doing a number of years ago, early in the pandemic, and she's raised a ton of money for a really good cause. Yeah. So we have a group that are meeting here at Yarnia, Team Yarnia. We've got people who are either raising money themselves or are just raising money as part of Team Yarnia.
Yep.
And
you can still support us, them, anyone raising money. Yeah. Today,
but it literally is today. The way it works is that people have been raising money all along leading up to the knit-a-thon, and then the day of is the last day to donate. So if you would like to support, here is a QR code. Yay. And we would love to have your support for this important effort. Yeah. And if you are either part of Team Yarnia or organizing your own team or, raising money on your own, we would love to have you here at Yarnia to sit and knit with us. We'll be open from 10 to 6 that day. Yep. The knit-a-thon does start at 10 and it runs till 10 p.m. But there are different breaks. There's programming that we'll have on our TV here. Mm-hmm. But by about 6, we'll kind of have had a lot of together time and
we will retire to our home to continue knitting for food.
To finish, exactly. Finish up knitting. So, and thank you so much to those who have already pledged, because a number of people have. Every time we either mention it on Instagram or we mention it in our episode, we definitely see that support coming in. So we appreciate it and thank you on behalf of Knit for Food and the organizations that money's being raised for. Yeah,
she's really, Laura Nelkin has done a really amazing job.
Yeah, and she is such a sweet and energetic person.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
She's a lot of fun.
It's a great cause, great situation, great organization.
Yeah. So another thing that is coming up later in April is New Jersey Wool Walk, which we also talked to you about last time. That runs Wednesday, April 23rd through Sunday, April 27th. I am unknitting, which is why I'm really having to pay attention. It's actually harder to tink.
It's harder to
tink than just to knit.
It's easier to just
knit along. But so New Jersey Wool Walk is an annual event that has been going on for probably at least 10 years. I don't know. Actually, does anybody know how long the New Jersey Wool Walk has gone on? I'm sure. We have a lot of watchers from New Jersey. Somebody may know the history of it more than I do. I mean, I was aware of it for probably at least 3 years before we were able to participate.
I'm trying to think of how many years before.
Well, I have a tote bag from an early one, the early one for me that probably.
I want to say it was definitely before 2015.
That's what I think the date on the tote bag that I have, might be 2012. So that would be at least 12 years that it's been going on. And I wouldn't at all be surprised if it's been longer than that.
I would not be surprised either if it was longer, for sure.
So, so anyway, we are participating for the 7th time, because we're in our 7th year now. So the very first year we didn't participate. Anyway, we are participating.
We're participating. Very exciting.
Gotten lots of great things from all the vendors that a lot of the yarn stores work with. Some vendors are, able to be super generous and send things for every store, whether we carry that brand or not, which is really nice.
Of them.
And we also very much appreciate, the companies that we work with that, just send things for the stores that carry their products, because that's, we understand, you can't.
I totally get it.
You can't always do everything you want to do. And but we as, a store that carries, La Bien-Aimée, for example, really appreciate the fact that they have donated a prize.
Yes.
Leica has donated a prize for us. It's nice. We carry those products. We like those products and endorse them, and we really appreciate the support. So, there are some stores have trunk shows. We will be having Girl Scout cookies, as you know, if you've heard Amanda talk about that before. Abby will be here with her Girl Scout cookies. And we have lots of stuff on sale. It really is our big chance to clear out a lot of the stuff that,
it's our big
you know, we've decided not to carry anymore just to make room for some new merchandise, or, you know, the manufacturer's not making anymore, so we can't carry it anymore even if we wanted to. And, you know, certain things we've got, you know, 10, 12 skeins. Like, we definitely have sweater quantities available.
Oh, for sure.
Of some items. Yeah, so it's not just like onesies, twosies. And, you know, we've got the whole back of the store is set up with things that are 30% off and more off.
Yeah.
So it is a great opportunity. And then actually a lot of our commercial brands are also 20% off. So you do need your passport to take advantage of all those deals. A passport is $6. We actually have a few of the collectibles left. I really overestimated how many we needed, so I thought we were sold out of them earlier, but we do have at least a few left. They're available both on our website and in the store. When the quantity now available on the website is gone, I think we are done.
Then we're out.
Yeah. So that is coming up. And then actually we have another very exciting event coming up in May.
Yeah.
And that is that Kevin and Ray of Needles at the Ready are going to be coming to Yarnia for both a trunk show of Kevin's yarn and a knit night in the evening.
That's going to be so fun.
It is going to be so fun. We're really looking forward to it. In order to, you know, kind of keep it to a manageable number and everything, we are going to have a small fee for the knit night, but we are also working on a special collectible that will be available. It'll be...
You'll get a thing for the money.
Yes, you will get a thing for the money. So I think it's going to be really fun. And we are so looking forward to having Kevin's yarn in the store and getting to hang with Kevin and Ray that day.
It's going to be
and
really
that
great.
is,
We're really psyched for that.
It is May 9th. It is the day before May 10th. I keep saying May 9th. I don't know why.
I don't know.
But it is 5/10/25. I know that for sure. Day before Mother's Day. And that the trunk show is going to be 11 to 4.
Okay.
And then the knit night is going to be 7 to 8:30.
Yeah.
And
so it's going to be a fun day.
It's going to be a fun, busy day. And we will have information, we'll have signups on our website by the time this goes live. It is on my list for tomorrow.
Excellent. Excellent.
We tape on Thursday night. The podcast goes live on Saturday. So we've got Friday to do all the things we talk about.
Exactly. I do have a non-knitting thing going on this weekend, specifically tomorrow. If you're watching this on Saturday, it's tomorrow, April 6th, I have helped organize the Montclair Ultimate Frisbee.
I saw that somewhere.
Fun day, because I just put flyers around Watchung Plaza. So
and did I see it maybe on Secret Montclair?
Quite possibly.
Yes, I think I did.
Because I believe they only allow postings on like 2 days of the month for this kind of thing. And I was like, oh my god, I almost forgot. So come out. There's going to be a bake sale. I have to decide what I'm going to make.
It's at Edgemont Park, right?
It is at Edgemont Park, and it's from...
Which is around the corner from my house.
12:30 to 3:30.
Nice.
Weather permitting. If weather does not permit, we'll post that it's postponed until June. But that'll be fine. Hopefully weather will permit, but we'll have some games that the high schoolers are going to run, not actual, like, ultimate Frisbee games, but, like,
Frisbee.
games you can play with Frisbee. Like, I think it's Can Jam. You knock a can off a ball. It's kind of fun.
Just to get more people, like, used to how to throw a Frisbee and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
nice.
the middle school team will be there. The high school team will be there. The state champion high school team.
Yes. Nice.
And then they might do a demo game so you can watch it, see how it's played and stuff. But it's gonna be super fun.
Nice.
So I'm psyched for it. I have to figure out what I'm gonna bake for the bake sale.
Yeah.
Oh, and merch, t-shirts.
Fun.
T-shirts. Good times.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
So
good
and
thing.
you can come say hi to me.
Yes.
I'll be behind a couple of tables.
Cool. All right, I will definitely swing by, and maybe we'll bring Anna too.
Yes,
to convince her not to
go after
bark at people.
Yeah.
she's okay outside. It's in our house that she's super protective.
Well, it's her house, so she's protecting.
She's trying to do her job. She's a serious work dog.
She's working.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of unknitting, that's what I have to do.
Are you doing it too?
I am unknitting as well, because I realized, I was like, did I forget this under double decrease, or did I just start knitting the wrong row? or both.
Oh.
Which is entirely possible, because I was working on it a bit in class today, and who knows what I was doing then.
Yeah.
So I might have to take out 2 rows.
So actually, since we're working on our whips, you want to talk about whips before?
Yeah, let's talk about whips, because I
we
really
talk about
kind of
whips?
only have 1, and I have 0 finished objects.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I don't mind going first.
Okay, you go first.
So I am working on the Rhinebeck Sweater by
Nice.
I believe it's by Cheryl Kubat. It is, for knit collage. I will grab my pattern. So this was a sweater that was done as a knit-along probably like a year and a half ago now, I believe. Yep, Cheryl Kubat. And it is such a fun, like, 70s inspired kind of jacket with a big furry collar. You've probably seen it. Gigi made an amazing one in
Hers is gorgeous.
this color, Joy Bomb Orange. It's so fun. I decided to go for honeysuckle. I've really been leaning into the gold lately.
Yes.
I really have.
I feel like it's a very Kathleen color.
It is. It really, it kind of works for me. It goes with my whole wardrobe. So
Yeah.
I figured, something that's more, that I can wear with more things is probably better.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, as much as I love orange, sometimes with, like, my black shirts and black pants with the orange, I feel like Halloween all year long.
Yes.
Which I'm fine. Like, Halloween is okay, but it is, like, not my favorite day of the year. Like, oh my god, I want to promote Halloween every day.
Yes.
So I like the gold. So I'll be a bee.
I think you'll be a bee.
I'll be a bee.
But also, I feel like the gold kind of scratches the same autumnal itch. The gold and the orange work together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it makes total sense. I get it.
Yeah. And it's, I actually feel like gold is kind of a neutral almost. I really do.
I
mean,
think
for me it
is.
is.
For you, for sure.
For me it definitely is. I don't see it as like too bold a color. It works with everything in my wardrobe.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you can build off of it.
I never thought about that before. You know what?
Yeah.
That maybe could be our question. Like,
oh, yeah, that's a good one.
about neutral. So
what's your neutral? Because I think
yeah.
my neutral is absolutely army green.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it counts as a color, yes, but also, like, I kind of...
If it kind of works with everything in your wardrobe.
It works with everything in my wardrobe.
I think that is the definition of what makes it, it's like not a screaming color.
Right, because your traditional neutrals, your white, gray, beige,
black,
brown, right? Like those neutrals. But, like, I feel like, for me, green is totally a neutral.
Yeah,
And gold
I totally
is
can
totally
see that.
Neutral.
Totally can see that. So, in being the passenger princess that I have been for the last number of days, I was so passenger princess. I finished one project on the way up to the Cape, and then I worked on the back of this while we were hanging out at the house and everything. And then I did both fronts today in the car.
I love it. You made good progress.
Yeah, it's so quick. I am working on 15s because I am indeed the loosest knitter in the world. I started on 17s. I got gauge on 17s.
I don't do anything in knit collage on 17s.
Yeah.
You got gauge on 17s?
I did. I originally got gauge on 17s, but it was a good size swatch, but it was a swatch.
Yeah.
And once you actually start like knitting all the stitches of the pattern, and I didn't rip it out and start over. I just at a certain point I'm just like I can see this is going to be too big if I keep going this way. I just
switch
changed.
it. You'll be fine.
So that's what I did, and so I was at the point of joining for the underarms, and I followed the directions and I did cable cast on, but I actually didn't like the way the second row was coming out, so I'm just going to redo that little bit. Okay. And yeah, it's one of those, it's like, if it's going to bother you, it's probably always going to, well, it was the kind of thing I thought was always going to bother me, because it was going to make the join of the sleeves a little bit wonky, and I'm like, it's 2 rows. I will definitely undo 2 rows to have a nice smoother pickup for my sleeves.
Yeah. So. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I know some people really like the cable cast on for underarms, but like, I agree. I kind of don't. Like, as annoying as backwards loop can be when you're picking up, not when you're picking up, but when you're working the next round.
Right.
I don't know.
It's also easy to work into. Yeah, and it's not, I don't know. It just wasn't working for me. So I went back. Yep. So, and this is all that I'm working on right now, because I brought like 6 skeins. Well, not all. I didn't bring all of it. I think I brought 4 skeins of this with me. And I was like, I'll see how far I get. I didn't actually have that much knitting time. Yeah. We ate out a lot. We made lobsters last night, which was so fun. And then we played like a very long game of Mexican Train, which was also very fun.
What's Mexican Train?
It's a game you play with dominoes.
Oh, cool.
And it's really fun. Oh yeah, I'm surprised you don't know it. It's it's one, like, we've been playing it like up in the Adirondacks and stuff, and if we go to the beach, like hanging around the house in the evening, for years, and it's really fun. You have to match. Somebody puts a tile out in the middle. It has to be a double. It has to be one of the dominoes that's a double, and then you have to match that double with one of yours to start your train.
Okay.
And then everyone has a train, and then there are ghost trains, and it was a lot of fun. And
cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. And we decided we have sandwich house rules because, like, it is too slow the way, if you play it the way the instructions say to play it, it kind of is interminable. But the way I've played it for a long time, it goes a lot faster, and people have fun. It's like, I'd rather play like seven games in an hour and a half than like 2 games that go 2 hours, and that's kind of the way it would be if we follow the actual rules.
And you can totally see how, like, some purists might be like, no, but you're like, nah.
No, it's fun. And we definitely adjusted as we went along last night, too. It was funny. So, yeah, and there was enough going on. It was fast enough moving. I was not knitting while I was playing. Yeah. Yeah. So that is my work in progress.
Fun.
And I fully expect it to be done by the next episode because...
Oh, yeah. I mean, just how much progress you've made so far.
Yeah, in like 3 days, basically.
In 3 days.
And not even, like, knitting 2 out of 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of the knit collage.
It is.
It just flies off your needles.
Yeah. And goodness knows, I may not actually get to wear this for September, but I'll have a new thing to wear in September and October when it is chilly.
That's the thing. When you have it, you'll have it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Once it's done, it's done.
Right.
Yeah. And what about you? What are you working on?
I am working on my Whitmore pullover.
Yes.
Which right now this is for my sweater class. So right now it's a big jumble of stuff. I am 2/3 of the way through the first chart. So this is the class is for the Whitmore pullover and the Whitmore cardigan. And they both have this, like, leafy lace
really
yoke.
Pretty lace, yeah.
That's really pretty. And I'm working on the first chart of the pullover. I'm doing the pullover. There are other folks in the class who are doing the cardigan. And it's in either a fingering plus a fuzzy or a DK. So I'm doing mine in LBA, DK, and dough. Which I really like how it's coming out so far. I think it's gonna look. I'm very pleased with it so far.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And I saw you've been sending lots of emails to your class because I love that you copy hello.
I know.
Like,
I have been.
Well, in case people pop into the store with a question or something, it's good for me to be in the loop so I can help answer those things.
Exactly. Well, and there were a bunch of questions because I was like, the patterns as written are written for 2 different levels of ease, but there's really that essentially for these patterns specifically is really going to how you want to wear it, right? So like the cardigan is designed for 0 to 3 inches of ease, so it's shown as much more close fitting than the pullover, which is designed for a lot more ease. But I'm like, you know what, there are projects on Ravelry with the reverse. Right?
Yeah. Just because you're doing the cardigan doesn't mean you don't need that. If you wanted to have more ease,
if you wanted to have it a more standard traditional. It's not, I don't want to say standard because nothing is standard, but more traditional, like 2 to 4 inches of ease. Like, pick a size with 2 to 4 inches of ease. Like, let's, there's nothing inherently about the design. Right,
that requires it have that amount of ease.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really, like, the only thing, it's all stuff that's within your control. Like, how deep you make the yoke, where you divide, where you divide for sleeves, like how long you make your sleeves, how you do your neckline, and all of that thing. So we were going through a lot of different options, and then, at least one student was like, "Can you send the links to those things so I can take a look?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So I sent another email, and then I was like,
and it's one of those things when one person asks, other people may be thinking
somebody
the same
else
thing.
is gonna want
share with the class
and to know, because it just works out. It works out well. So I am taking mine back currently 2 rows because we had our intermediate class today. And I was like, working on it. I don't know if I moved my Post-it on my chart up or not.
Yeah,
I probably did.
or whatever.
So I probably did another row twice.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this looks a little weird.
Because you're mainly helping other people, but it's like as we help other people, we get
Just
a few
keep
minutes
my
here and
hands
there to
busy.
knit. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, but sometimes it's like verbally answering questions, not necessarily just
not
looking
just
at someone's
demonstrating
knitting.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to where I know it's solid, which is I think it's probably like 1.5 rows rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I am at the larger part of the yoke now, so I'm like,
and tinking lace. I mean, it can be
lace is annoying.
Can be a pain. Yeah.
It's a relatively straightforward lace, but I'm like, it's that center double decrease. Taking that out
exactly. Well, you just want to be careful doing it so you don't.
I don't want to
lose
drop
stitches
anything.
or anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and I finished with my tinking, and I actually have gone back and I've just done a backward loop cast on, as Jen mentioned. It's just, it'll be fine. It really will. It was kind of getting too bulky, and the thing is, when you end, I don't know, I was doing this in the car today, so I didn't really, and we were on 95 in Connecticut. We were like,
Connecticut, man. Great state unless you're driving through it.
Yeah. And hey, here comes Amanda. Yay.
And Amanda's here just in time.
Woohoo.
Look who we have.
Guess who got here? Yay.
It's Amanda.
Not too late. So we filter in on how we are talking about whips first, how we're turning things on their heads today.
Yeah, I just got back from seeing Charlie. I'll put a picture of him in here at his little school concert, which was very cute. His class sang some Bruno Mars.
Oh, nice. They really had an interesting...
They had a wide variety. I was saying that also there was some Carmina Burana and a little Orpheus in the Underworld. So, yeah, it was a wide range of genre, as well as Georgian folk tunes, like from the country.
Oh, interesting. What Georgian folk tune?
I'm not a connoisseur of Georgian folk tunes, but yeah, it was interesting.
Nice.
So, anyway, it was good. But I would show you a little clip because they were very cute. However, it has other children in it.
And
Right.
Do that.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You'll just have to use your imagination.
We will.
None of them. Think of a lot of kids, not quite as cute as Charlie.
I mean, I have to say, Charlie is really cute.
He was really cute.
He is really cute. Sorry. I'm like, sorry, other children. He's very cute.
Yeah, he's the third most handsome little boy in the world, right? To you?
Yes, totally. But no, he can be second because I have a teenager.
Oh, yeah, and there.
Right, he's not a little
He doesn't
boy.
want to be handsome.
When he's 6 foot, almost.
Yeah,
He's not a little boy.
Oh my goodness!
I can't even. I mean, and he's like solid. He went to the gym today and yesterday. I took him to the gym and he worked out with my trainer, and she's like, he's very strong, and I'm like, I know.
Well,
I'm like, he's like a grown up.
and on the opposite end of the spectrum, I hung out with a very little boy this week.
That's
yes.
right.
Tell us about your very little boy.
We heard.
Yeah, so
Exciting news.
congratulations, Catherine.
Yay.
Mama, now a boy mom. So, yeah, Catherine had her little boy labored all day on the 31st and was born 12:01.
Really?
On April Fool's.
I was wondering.
No.
April 1. Oh, well.
Yeah, no, it's so cute.
I love it.
So we have our little April Fool. I said that's going to be Eric's favorite. Eric's going to be his favorite because Eric is such a jokester. He loves telling jokes. But I have a little clip of Ezekiel in his outfit that I knit for him. So I'm putting that in here. He was so good. Catherine was amazing. She delivered literally in one contraction.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah. It was,
Go, Catherine.
labor's never fun, but that whole, she was built for it, right?
Dang, girl.
I can't even imagine.
I had back labor with Ollie.
Well, she had back labor.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was rough.
Oh,
It was really rough.
it sucks.
And the epidural doesn't even, get rid of that.
It doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't.
So,
Nope.
yeah.
Oh,
So
I feel you.
that part was rough. But the whole pushing
Oh,
Wow.
was Yes.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
That is
I don't even know how
amazing.
many hours
So-
I pushed for.
Oh my god, it took me so long to get the both of those little butters out.
Yeah. That was he was ready.
He was done.
That's
So
great.
yeah,
And how big was he and everything?
he was 7 pounds 8 ounces.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice size.
just right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually that was one reason that she ended up being induced, because her back was killing her.
Mm-hmm.
He was just in that spot that was
Just
awful.
right where you're like,
Putting
You-
pressure you can't get comfortable.
you
with.
might as well like just stab a little ice pick on
I was
your
about to say
back from the
ice pick your
inside.
back. Yeah.
Ooh.
Right from the inside.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
so you can't do anything.
You can't. Yeah. So it was just like
Oh.
too much. He was fully cooked. It was fine.
Yeah,
So
he's good.
yeah.
Oh,
So
welcome,
exciting.
baby.
So that was our beginning of this week.
That's so exciting.
Excitement. Yeah, and I didn't bring a whole lot to share today, but I'll bring more next time. I worked while Kay was in labor, not the exciting part. There's a lot of sit around and
A lot of
wait
the
part.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked on Eric's sweater.
nice.
Yeah, so I finished the first sleeve and got started on the second sleeve, so
Oh,
she did
good.
some really good progress on that. I wound the yarn for Abby's sweater before I left, and it's still wound and sitting in the bag. I didn't make any progress on that.
But it's wound.
Yeah,
First steps.
and the pattern's printed and all the sizes
Oh my
are
God.
circled.
So
There you go.
I mean,
That's yeah.
sometimes
basically
the
started.
prep work. The prep that is started.
Yes,
That is started.
it's ready to pick up.
Your prep
Well,
work
yeah,
has
like
been
the
prepped.
brain work is done. Kind
Yeah.
of the original, the
I mean,
stuff you
The
need to
needles
so
are
you can-
found; they're in the bag. It's
Yeah.
all out there.
There's
It's
a lot of
ready
stuff
to
you
cast
need
on.
to do before you actually have needles and yarn in your hand.
That's one reason a lot of times, like, I'm like, oh, what am I going to work on? I need something real easy because I don't have, I've
Yeah.
only got 10 minutes before I need
Yeah.
to be somewhere or whatever. And so you pick up the easy thing.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
So that's the very finished of my finished object from a few weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Finished and now
awesome.
worn.
Yeah.
Do you have any other whips?
I just am casting on. You can see I'm casting on stitches just to give my hand something to do here. But on the way up, actually last week, and on the way driving up, and then finished it last night on Knit Night. I finished all my March squares for the Barocco
All of
Yay.
them?
Mystery Blanket Knitalong. Both of the March squares. Yeah, there were 2 squares for March.
Wow.
Nice.
I finished them all. Yeah, because remember I was a little stressed out last
I
time.
remember
They were
you
a lot
saying,
for February, right?
We were like,
Yeah.
February had a bunch.
you're fine. Like, even if you're still working in March and April, you're fine.
Yeah, but
But, like,
so
look at you.
I finished them. So this is the first one. And
That
I
is
did it
so
in
pretty.
This pretty purple
Oh,
color.
I love that one.
It's a textured stitch. This is the one that I was a little anxious about because it looked like it was that one, little 1x1 cables. It is not.
It's so pretty. It's a really nice
little
texture.
slip stitch across the front, and
Yeah.
then you just dip and pick it up later.
Oh, that's so
Very
much better
nice.
than 1x1
Oh,
cables. Would have just
yeah.
been like,
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
So I
Nice.
mean, can I just put this on Chad's socks?
Yeah, but no, exactly.
Can
That's
you?
the kind of thing
No,
you
I
can
can't
apply
because
Oh.
it won't work exactly. But it's a really pretty pattern,
Yeah.
right? We were talking on Knit Night that this would be a good one to put on a sweater or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
Just
You could
a
take
simple pullover.
Yeah, you could take the flax or something like that and just
Yeah.
put this.
Or, like just do it on the body, do the sleeves plain, or vice
yeah,
versa.
or vice versa.
you know.
Yeah, that would be real. And it's fast, like obviously, because I
yeah, you
like zoomed through this one.
flew through that.
I think I also was working on this. Chad is coaching Charlie's soccer team, which is
Oh, how
adorable.
Oh
cute.
my gosh.
And I took this so now we have that family activity every Saturday evening.
Mhm.
And I took this because it's only one color. That was easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice. And I'm sure once you get into the flow of the pattern,
Oh,
right?
you don't
Yeah.
even have
You're
to
just
look
like,
at the
boop,
pattern
Mhm.
anymore. Yeah, it was
Okay.
great. So that was the first March square, and then this is the second March square, which we practiced in Tarsha.
Nice.
Nice.
So I started this one on the drive up to Albany, and finished all the way to the middle point here.
Mhm.
Wow.
And then I started here at Knit Night last night, and finished the rest of it.
Wow. Yeah.
Knit Night is 2 hours.
Yeah, that's great.
So I finished all but the last 8 rows at Knit Night, and then the kids are playing. We're playing Zelda. Did I say this last time? We're
I
playing.
don't think so.
We might have started it since then. Echoes of Wisdom,
Okay.
the new little Zelda game that has cartoony characters again and like
Yes.
a very direct storyline.
Back to the stylized.
Yeah, that came out last fall, and we started playing that in 30-minute episodes, like every night. I give the kids.
Oh, fun!
I
Yeah,
give Eric 30 more minutes on his Switch, and we play for 30 minutes, and that's
a
just
nice
about
way to
enough
do
time
it.
to like
Yeah.
get to the next
That's
event.
so nice.
So we're doing that all together, and I finished the last little bit of that square yesterday while we were doing that. So yay! I finished both
Yay.
March squares. That's thrilling. April squares just came out today because it's the first Thursday of the month.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic! You did that right on time.
I know. So, and the theme of this month is my favorite. What's my favorite? Lace.
Oh, I think
Mm-hmm.
Lace. I love lace. So color work I love in spurts, and then I burn out, and then I have to fall in love with it again. But I love lace. I could knit lace forever and ever. So it's 2 lace squares. The first one is more simple, right? Like it's a more straightforward pattern that you can either read or chart.
Okay.
And then the second one is more of an Oliver block pattern.
Okay.
Still not very complicated. You can read your stitches, but it's charted.
Only charted.
Only charted, yeah.
Nice. They're bringing you along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Well, and like of course, the Intarge was only charted as well.
Yeah.
So, so that's out now, and we have our Zoom, our Barocco mystery knit-along blanket Zoom on Sunday at 6 p.m. So,
Yes.
yes.
You've had at least one sign up so far.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll have a lot more.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
I'm actually going to post that on
still early.
Saturday in the Blanket Cow Facebook group.
Yeah.
Because Barocco's not doing a session this month. I know the one last month, folks were a little frustrated in the instruction. And people have questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's come, ask questions. It can be questions on lace, and I'm going to have my overhead camera set up.
Demonstrate.
Yeah, so we can do demonstrations. If you have questions about, like, certainly about the April squares, ask them. About either of the March squares, ask them. Right? If you have questions about how the heck is this all going to look when we're done? How should I block my squares? What's the best way to weave in ends? How do you seam these things?
Yep.
You know, all the questions in the world.
Cool.
Bring them all. We can answer them.
This is not your first rodeo when it
No.
comes to an Afghan knit-along.
One of my squares
For
is
sure.
13.5 inches and the other is 13.75 inches. Is this going to be a problem? The answer is no. It's not going to be a problem.
It'll be okay.
We can chit chat about all those kind of things. It's for an hour again on Sunday, 6 to 7, totally free. Just sign up at shopyarnia.com and join us on Zoom.
Yay!
On our classes and events calendar, just go to that day, the 6th.
I'll put a link directly to that event down below.
Mm-hmm. Good
So,
idea.
but definitely I didn't have time to. We just finished March, right? Yeah, my March
Yes.
bandwidth was shot. That was impossible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
April's clearing up a little bit, and if this Zoom goes well, people come and it's valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then we'll continue on that method for the rest of the year.
That works.
So,
That sounds good. Yeah.
I'm biased because my sweater class is on Zoom, but I always like a Zoom because
Yeah. You can be
go
in
from
your PJs,
wherever you
honestly.
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Be in your
also
cozy clothes.
sometimes it's a way that if one person asks the question,
Mm-hmm.
everybody hears the answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you're going around a table and one person asks a question, the person at the other end of the table might not have heard the question.
That's true.
But they still might
That's so
benefit
true.
from that.
Yeah.
You know? Or they might have the same question. Or they might not care.
Right.
Right? Like there are lots of different options there. But like it is a way to kind of
Yeah.
drill down them a little bit.
And our Zoom will be recorded and
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Available. Available to people who sign up.
Exactly. Sign up for that link, and then you can see the recording.
Yeah.
For sure.
That works. Excellent.
cool.
All right.
So what's next?
So I guess next we talk about finished objects,
I
right?
have nothing.
We talked about all of our-
I have no finished objects. I have been such a slacker when it comes to my finished objects these days. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like
I've just been,
I'm a little all over the place.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of car knitting time. I have had a lot of car knitting
See,
time.
and I can't knit in the car at all.
I know.
Oh.
And also I drive. So.
Yeah, I don't drive, and I don't drive long distances on the highway, and I can knit in the car, thankfully. So I don't even know if I had started this.
You had.
I had just started it in the
Yeah.
last episode,
Yes.
right? So,
Oh.
I finished this on the way back from Western Massachusetts, maybe?
Oh, it's
Isn't it
It
fun?
is
So I
pretty.
didn't... Oh, no, I finished it on the way to Cape Cod on Tuesday, because...
This is perfect sized.
Isn't this nice?
Yeah.
So it hopefully will
Feels
grow
so
a
good.
tad when I block it.
Oh,
This is Changing Staircases by Tristan Molina. And I did it in a skein of Miss Babs Kira, I believe, that I got at Rhinebeck a number of years ago.
Do you know the Piper makeup of that? I'm going to show.
It's 100% superwashable.
It's so
It
nice.
feels almost like the Soyuz, the Fonty Soyuz.
Yeah.
Yep, 100% superwash merino. It reminds me of Colonet Jitterbug, which is a Welsh yarn that
Yes,
the mill
I
went
remember
out
that.
of business like 10 years ago, and I literally cried because it was like one of my favorite yarns, but the base feels so similar to that. And it's funny, somebody mentioned that mill recently too. Like,
Really?
somebody asked if I knew it, and I'm like, not only do I know it, like,
I know it, and
loved
I'm
it.
sad.
I'm so sad. I'm still sad that they're gone. So it's interesting. This looks like it has an I-cord edge. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just knit 3.
Wow.
It's knit 3 and purl 3. So it's nice. It's
So
like
it just kind of rolls a little.
It kind of rolls a little bit. And it's, similar to the Hitchhiker in that you are increasing, and then you every now and then you bind off a few stitches
Yeah.
so that
So you
it
get the
gives
little-
it that little sawtooth edge. And it is supposed to end with just like 2 rows of knitting and then bind off. And I wasn't loving the way it looked. So I did actually an I-cord.
Oh, yeah.
I did just
That's
a
a good
2.
idea.
I do like it.
Yeah, I think it kind of, it mirrors that top edge a little bit more, and it
Yeah.
just gives it a little bit, I mean,
It's a little
again,
more refined.
it's not blocked yet, so it's not falling nicely, but when it is blocked, I think it'll kind of have a teeny bit more weight.
Yeah.
And this was a 560 yard skein.
Okay.
I have like a yard left.
Oh, wow.
Nicely
Yeah.
done.
But that's like what's perfect about that
Yeah.
pattern
Yeah.
is you really can't. I mean, not.
You
I mean,
just
so the
keep
yard is a lot, but
Yeah.
like you can get down to like the last gram.
Yeah. Well, this was, I think, less than a gram. Yeah, this is definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can see. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
You have that
And also,
mending thread on
this
this
Yes,
does...
exactly. You have a mending thread.
Yeah, exactly. The last repeat, what I wound up doing, I kind of did it. I followed the instructions and I was doing the bind off and I'm like, I don't like this. It doesn't
Yeah.
have quite enough body.
Mhm.
But I could also see that I was not going to have enough yarn if I started. Yeah, so it is a 3-stitch I-cord. So I wound up, on the way up to Cape Cod, I tinked about 5 rows, I guess, altogether.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I did, yeah. But I thought with the lace and everything, it was just easier to do it. I was sitting in the car, I was chit-chatting with my friends. It was
Yeah,
like the perfect, like, brain thing to do.
Yeah.
And I finished it, like, as we got there, basically.
Oh, nice.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
I
so.
like really a lot making that shawl.
Yeah,
I made
this
it
is
twice.
the first time I made it. I remember you
I
said
think I
that,
need
yeah.
to make it. It's such a pretty,
It is
like,
pretty.
simple but textural but nice.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
talk about something that like is perfect when you need something that engages your mind, right? Like it gives you a distraction, but doesn't take up brain space.
It doesn't tax
Yes.
you. Yeah. And it was the kind of thing where it was, I've been going through my stash and I have a bin that is things that are queued where I have, not only do I have the yarn, I have the pattern already, or, it's in my queue in Ravelry. I've got the yarn, I've got the pattern, or I'm about to buy the pattern. And I didn't have, I didn't really have the bandwidth to assemble a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, I'm just gonna, I've got this here, it's more or less ready to go.
Yeah.
I had the yarn caked one day that I was in the store,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is a great, like, mostly mindless project.
Yeah.
Especially once you've done a couple of repeats, you really do not need to refer to the pattern anymore.
Yeah.
When you were talking about your bin, I thought you said bin of things that are cute.
Oh yeah.
Like
Cute.
things?
Cute
Things
things.
that are cute. Hopefully someone
And
will be
cute.
cute coming out of there.
Cute and cute.
But yeah, and then so I mean, in a way that's good. I've been trying to work through some things that I've been, kind of planning to do for a while, and it was the perfect thing. Like, I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
going to be too complicated. I only needed one needle. It had so many positive
Yeah.
attributes for where I was at that moment. But then this, like when we got in, and we will talk about Nickelage soon.
Yes.
When we had just gotten in a giant shipment because Nickelage was low and out of a lot of colors.
Lot of colors.
Yeah.
But we got something like 50 skeins of French vanilla,
Yes.
for example. So we have plenty of things. And, once that came in, I'm like, all right, I'm finally going to cast on this Rhinebeck sweater, which I've also been wanting to do for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Love
So
it.
that's finished and then circling back again to Ips.
Love it.
So, Jen, you said you have noon
I have nothing.
finished. Oh,
Nothing.
and I am
What are you
wearing... I'm wearing a Sophie shawl, a tiny Sophie shawl, made with LBA Cashmerino in the Patagonia colorway.
I love the Patagonia.
And
Yeah.
I held a double, and this was the entire... I had nothing left. Again,
Speaking of like a good, like,
use up a little...
yeah, all
This
of it.
this
Oh,
was...
it feels so nice.
It's so nice.
I
So,
love it.
Yeah,
yeah.
it is really nice.
Haley was the one who got me into that. She's been doing her her jelly roll blanket with
Love it.
all different fingerings held double. Yeah, Cashmerino held double is so luxurious. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yeah.
And the nice thing, too, about holding double is you really don't have to worry about pulling.
No.
When you're wearing double.
It breaks it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you have a very kind of stripy, groupy
Mm-hmm.
kind
Yeah.
of colorway.
Yeah.
Because everything gets scrambled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all.
Yeah. Pulling from the two different ends and all that.
Speaking of
Yeah.
scramble, my yarn scrambled mess on the floor. It's fine. It gets washed. Yeah. So let's see. We talked about
My Felix.
yes. Tell me
Yes,
your
that's right. What are
Felix.
you wearing?
Well, I'm wearing an oldie on my
Yeah.
my Felix.
Is that that I think is the first
The OG
of the Felix.
pullover.
I think that's the first of all the Felixes that any of us
Pullover.
made, right?
No, she made the cardigan.
Sorry, I
Oh,
made the
that's
cardigan
right.
as a
You
sample,
did.
but
You
I
did.
didn't make it in. And what did you make this one in?
Lucky tweed.
There we go. But that's the
In the fog color.
that's the first
Yes,
that's the
because-
first Lucky Tweed Felix.
Actually,
Yeah, it
is
is. It was the
yours
first
is
Lucky
yours
Tweed
fog
Felix.
or is it light gray? I think yours.
I think it's light gray.
No, it's light
Yours is
gray.
light gray.
Fog is blue.
Haley's is fog.
Yes.
Haley's, which may
Yeah.
have been the second one that
And
Yes.
we made
mine was-
of the pullovers.
Which color do we have the most skeins of?
Yeah.
And
And that's why I picked
yeah,
that color.
and it's a good neutral.
It is a good
but this is the one that I was saying, like, see,
Oh, the
like
sleeves could be a
now,
little
I would
longer.
definitely knit
Yeah.
my sleeves longer
Yeah.
now than I
Yeah.
did back then, because I knit them like
you and your
knit to
deceptively
18
long
inches.
arms.
Yeah, and I would like
deceptively long arms.
knit it a little bit longer in the body. I mean, I wear
Uh-huh.
this all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Prop.
Mhm.
I mean, it feels
I was
proppy.
wearing a
think
Felix
it's a good
earlier
length. I mean,
today.
it's a cute
It is
length.
cute. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a problematic length. You know what I mean?
It's, the sleeves are a little
Yeah.
short.
Oh, see,
It
I'm
was
like
warm.
that is a perfect sleeve for
Huh,
me.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I like long sleeves too.
It
I
was a
wore
warm
my,
day.
um,
It was a little warm for Felix today, but
Yeah,
It was
warm.
40 and raining when I left Massachusetts
It was-
this morning. It was nasty. It was
Cold
not
this
nice.
morning, but
Yeah.
now it's like 70s.
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, we were
so, and a little
feeling
steamy.
layers as we came.
Yeah. Humid.
Yeah, that's why I have Hermione here. I definitely feel like I'm channeling Hermione today. In the first,
I have makeup on, but my ponytail. This is just definitely a work from home day. It was a little bit crazy, so.
Mhm.
Ah.
So, do we have any other projects we
This
should
is
talk
actually
about?
what I was wearing when Ezekiel was born. This
Oh.
outfit. So this is his first view of Mimi. Was in a
Mimi.
Felix.
And a Felix.
Lucky Tweed Felix.
I love it.
Not the babies can see that far in front of their face, but
No.
But he could see the contrast.
yeah,
The
exactly.
gray and the black. That's contrast. There you go.
Oh
I
man.
love it. I love it. Yeah, no, I don't have any more projects. I'm
Yeah, I don't have any more.
focusing on this.
I have a lot more projects. Let's be real.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
oh, do I have more projects? Yes. Are
We
they
were talking about
active?
your dumb affair
No.
on Knit Night the other night.
Oh yeah, I still haven't finished that. You know why? Because I got to the yoke and I divided for the sleeves, and now I'm on the boring back and forth
Yeah.
stockinette,
Yeah.
fingering weights.
That could be like good vacation knitting though, like if you're listening to an audiobook and just like,
maybe, but
sitting in-
I get like half of the way through a purl row, and I'm like,
I don't
Yeah,
want to do
it's
this
long.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Feel this.
you
I know. I'm trying to decide what to do with these sleeves because they are supposed to be garter in the round, which is knit a row, purl a row.
I would knit them flat and
And-
I would seam them.
I'm thinking about doing
But
that.
it's bulky. Like it's so
I know,
short.
I
Like,
know.
if
That's
I do it-
true.
Or
It
do it
won't-
helical.
It won't take that long.
Do it helical, then you won't have any like jog.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, did you see the comment? Someone said your description of helical was so thorough that now she finally understands it.
Yeah, I'm so glad
Yeah.
to see
I was
didn't
going to tag
see
you, but I
that.
could not remember what your name
What
is.
my name
on
is, because I've got
YouTube.
like 5
On
different
YouTube.
I've got like 5
Well, it
different
would-
YouTube
it would-
accounts.
Okay, yeah, but I mean,
Oh,
I know
wow.
you comment. I had literally
Not on purpose.
no time before I came over here. I got home, I got my stuff out of the car, I set my computer up. I'm like, all right, let's respond to all the comments. Let's do the sheet. Blah,
Yes. Oh, I'm glad that made sense to you.
Blah, blah. Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, and
Sometimes I'm like, it makes sense to me, but that means nothing. Lots of things that like other people understand don't make any sense to me. So I'm
and
like,
not saying we have to go into this day, and I do not recall who it was that said it, but she said, I'm also somewhat confused by grafting. So like, if you want to, we'll do a thing on grafting in some episode.
yeah, I'm trying to think like,
But also,
But these are the kind of things that would be really good for if we did a live.
yes,
Yes.
Just
Yes.
chat about it.
oh,
Yes.
and actually, we probably will do a live sometime in the next.
We probably will do a live in the future.
Sometime in the future. All right, so we'll put that down on our list of things to talk about
We
on
definitely
our
will.
next live,
We've been
whenever that
collecting.
is.
I've been collecting ideas for lives. I think it'll be fun.
I
But
think it'll be
Yeah,
yeah,
that is a good thing
We
to
just-
talk about. Yeah,
your production team needs to get a little less overloaded.
yeah,
fun. The production team, FYI.
yeah.
It's been a month.
That's been
Yeah.
you've had a month. You've had a month. Should we talk about what's new in store?
Sure.
Because Amanda will see what we did for our photo.
Oh yeah, you didn't get to see our photo because
It'll be a surprise.
it'll be a surprise. The cover. Yeah.
So as Kathleen mentioned, we got a giant,
like 5 huge boxes of Nick Collage.
giant shipment. Of
Kathleen
Nick
sent
Collage.
me a note. She's like, "This is what I think we can order, but I often underestimate how much we need. So feel free to adjust." So I did.
Yeah, I do. I always tend to go a little conservative, and Amanda's like, "No, get more of that. Get more of that." So
Yeah, I just hate it when we run out.
I hate it when
I
we're,
know.
and especially
Me
if you're
too.
like, and with Nick Collage, because the skeins are so big, you can make a sweater out of like not a lot of skeins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, there's 2, but I need that 3rd, and you're like, yeah. But anyway,
So we are going into warmer weather, but still, you could be like me and make your thing that you're going to wear when it gets cold in the fall.
I made my Nick Collage jacket, which is the one behind Amanda, in August.
yeah.
I have to say, it's nice to work with it if you're in an air-conditioned house, because I was like, look how satisfying this is. That was 100%
It goes
vacation
so
did it.
fast.
Oh,
It's just
yeah, it
like,
goes
I
so
blew
fast.
through it. It was great.
It's like, it's like instant gratification.
Yes.
Totally.
I love it.
Oh, and actually, Knit Collage is doing a spring knit-along.
Yeah.
that's
They've been
right.
Oh,
having, I don't know
forget
when
that
the
they
voting
had the
ends.
Voting, yeah.
But, they do have a knit-along coming up, and I did vote. I think I only voted on behalf of myself, not on behalf of Yarnia. But, so if you love Knit Collage and you get their newsletter, and you may be able to do it just on their website as well.
Exercise your
think.
right to vote. That's
Yeah,
what-
let Amy and her team know what you would like to make next.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, speaking of things that are coming up,
yes.
if you get Helen Stewart's newsletter,
Mm-hmm.
she's bringing back her sock society.
Oh.
So I'm super excited.
Like
For the summer or what?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so 6 months of Helen Stewart socks will be coming our way.
Wow.
You know, my sock stash is going to get
6
enhanced. Well, she does 6 and then releases them once per month. And I always start the first one and then get behind. But that's okay.
I mean, that's okay.
And they're available
That's
to
a
knit when you're ready.
I'm
Yeah.
aggressive pace.
I mean,
Not aggressive like pragmatic.
Well, you have other,
aggressive,
you
but,
you had other priorities already lined up for the year too.
you have
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
projects going on.
But I don't think I always cast on the first one right away, and I think I might wait because sometimes I like the second one better.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then-
I can see that.
then you wanna
I like
pick.
to know my scope before I start.
So
Yeah.
I think I'll probably do 3 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll pick
That's
one of the
fair.
first and second, one of
Yeah.
the third and fourth, and one of the fifth and sixth.
Yeah.
And that seems like a good enhancement
Uh-huh.
to my.
And you could even vary it. Like if you love both 3 and 4, maybe you don't do.
But maybe I'll try to finish Chad's sock before.
There's
Oh
that
yeah, I was
too.
gonna say before he
Before
casts
the
on
first
another
book
sock,
comes
he's
out.
gonna be like, "But
Yeah.
my socks."
Yeah.
But look what you picked.
And then you're like, "But look at how many options you might have that you might get after I make ones for you."
Oh.
Yeah.
Almost done.
Woohoo!
I know. I don't have. I really should felt the ends together, but I can't really do that while we're taping. So,
I
I
have
will.
tinked back to I think a solid row that I didn't screw up.
I don't have any more removable stitch markers.
I probably have a few.
I might have some.
I'm lying. I do. I have just enough removable stitch markers. I probably have it from the last time I did one of these squares. I'm just casting on the February square. And you have to count 54 stitches 4 times.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So I need removable stitch markers.
So let's talk more about Knitalong.
Yes.
Because this is this, I think this is all of our Spun Cloud colors.
Is it?
No, you know what? There's another
4,
basket
6,
down
8,
by,
10,
look under
11.
your,
I think it was 17
there's
colors.
more, they're there.
Yeah.
So we have 17
Also have
colors
ink.
of knit collage.
And Moroccan Ruby.
Spun Cloud.
Spun Cloud.
Which
Moroccan
is,
Ruby color
yeah,
and ink and was that
the
high
mushroom?
vibes?
High Vibes.
Or High
No.
Vibes. One is High Vibes, one is the gray.
High Vibes in your right hand, Fog Heather in your left.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
High Vibes
They're
is
close, but there's a definite
high,
difference.
High Vibes
It's
is
warm.
more variegated and it's
Warm.
warm. It's a brown and it's
It's like a warm,
certain,
streaky brown.
some skeins are a lot more streaky than others. Yeah.
And then this one's gray.
Fog
And
Heather
that
is more of a
consistently gray.
as actually it's funny because it's called Fog Heather, but I would say High
High
Vibes
Vibes
is
is
more
heavy.
heathery actually.
Yeah.
It's true.
So yeah,
And this color's new. Bodacious pink.
Yes.
or that's bubblegum candy.
That's bubblegum
That's
candy.
the new one.
Bubblegum candy is
the hot
new one.
Yeah.
Bodacious pink we've had.
Bodacious pink we've had before. So
Yeah.
Bodacious pink
Bubblegum
is
candy is the
the
new
like 80s neon.
And we meant to order the olive one, but we forgot.
By wishing.
It's okay.
No, it's okay.
I forgot it.
We'll
Okay.
we'll get it the next time we order. I told them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so that is our Spun Cloud, which is like, kind of the OG knit collage. It's used in so many of their patterns. It's what I'm using for the Rhinebeck sweater and what is called for in that. And then we were super low on daisy chain, which is one of my other favorite yarns, and we restocked all of the colors
daisy chain
that we had carried before.
So the difference, Spun Cloud is plied. It's 2-ply. Daisy chain is a single.
Yes.
Has like little bits of lace and fabric
And fairy dust
daisies
woven in.
and fairy dust and like what do you
It's
say,
just
like
so
glitter bits,
Stellina type.
Stellina stuff.
I think they
And
call
it's
it
like-
Angelina, actually.
yes,
Yeah.
Angelina is different than Stellina, and I
How
don't
is
know.
it different?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're a fiber queen.
I know. One is, I think, like cut polyester.
94
and the other
wool,
is
5
not.
mohair, 1% poly.
So
That's
I'll
nice poly.
Yeah.
Yes, because
I'll
the
bring
colors
this up so you can see
these
how
are-
these are. If you've never that before, you know what you know about it. But you can
And
see like
that's
this
all
is
this matches.
single plied, and then we've got these little daisies popping out, and then there's
And I just
Stellina
like the way
that's
all
plied
the colors
in.
are like mixed together.
Yeah.
Those bits.
and then there's bits of cloth that are like plied in as well,
yeah.
and lace. See, there's lace in this one. Each one is a little bit different.
They really are.
Streaky
And
one.
this is our new color. This is Secret Garden Green.
I saw this one. This one's so
So-
pretty.
They
See,
didn't
like
have
it's
too many new colors available in that. Well, we had a wide variety, so
we had a good chunk of.
we stocked. We
Yeah.
restocked all of those. I literally think we had about like 11 skeins left. But also, they were low. Like we couldn't. It's not
Yeah,
worth
this
the
one-
work.
Yeah, I
if we
mean,
can only get
they-
a couple of colors.
These are hand spun
This one is-
yarns.
Sea
Yeah.
Siren.
They're
So
also pretty. I love
Yeah.
them.
so
And actually,
pretty.
the scarf I made is right behind you here with that. I think this is such a great way to use
Oh,
use
this one.
daisy chain
Oh,
in
yeah.
in
You can see how
combination with
Oh, and look
the
at this.
Spun
All,
Cloud.
Is that 1 and 1? 1 skein of each? or one
I
skein,
think
2
it
skein?
is. I think that's 1 and 1. I wonder if it says it on there.
I'll look and see. But you can see now Spun Cloud
We
with
could weigh
the
it,
daisy
too.
chain.
I
You can
bet
see
it
how
is.
those
I
little
think that's
daisies
1 and
pop
1.
out when you're knitting. Isn't that cute? I love it.
Yeah, so fun.
So pretty. And they're so fun to work with because especially like the daisy chain, you don't know what's coming up.
Exactly.
next.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's how all of our knit collage yarns look. There's the Spun Cloud. You can see it's a little bit thick thinning.
Yeah.
So you come up with like poofs. This is good for summer. We got some more. Did we get more of the? We got one restock, right? Of the
We got a few. We got one new one.
wildflower.
Yes.
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
we get that was new again? I know we got.
Wildflower
We
is
got
the
that.
one that's fabric.
We got
Yeah.
the gray, right?
I feel like we had the
Gray
gray.
was there.
That actually I wonder when they were unpacking it, I think all of that went to the basement, so we need to pull the new color out.
Maybe because I need to take pictures of it.
Yes, there should be one in the photo bucket for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
But
that wildflower yarn, if you look at Knitalong's website, they have some really cute summer.
yeah,
They do.
I do
They
want to
make
make a summer tote this year.
There's a summer tank, I believe, that I've been looking at.
Yeah.
Out of that, and it's 100% cotton. It's cotton voile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there
So
are
pretty.
We can
certain
barely see
patterns
each
that are done for their
I'll sit up.
waterfall
behind
yarn, which is I think a viscose version of it.
Which one?
But waterfall, which
nice.
is not one we carry. But any of the patterns, Amy and I were talking about this on the phone one day.
Or interchangeable.
Yeah, any of the patterns that are done for that you can use with the wildflower as
That's
well.
good to
That's
know.
right.
Yeah. I definitely want to do maybe we even do a summer sweater class or a knit along with that this summer.
Ooh, that would be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
that'd be great.
That would
So
be really
so check out Knit Collage's knit along. Definitely consider us as a possible source if you're thinking about working on that, or let us know if you need some inspiration. Maybe you'll make a Rhinebeck jacket like
Yeah.
Yeah.
a Rhinebeck
And
sweater.
they're a great company.
Yeah.
Amy's super lovely,
Mm-hmm.
super sweet, and
Do you know what? I'm doing stockinette all of a sudden out of the blue.
You're not that
This
far.
is gorgeous.
You're not that
I
far,
know
just
from
one
when I
row.
joined
Just
in my
one row.
yarn. When I
Just
joined
one
my, but isn't that silly how like you can just you know?
you can just default to.
I'm glad I
muscle
noticed.
memory.
It's only like 10 stitches. Yikes, though.
Ugh.
Seriously.
Default to muscle
What
memory.
did
It
I do?
happens.
I had to tink back quite a bit. I forget what I was.
We were both
Oh!
at the beginning of the
We were all
episode. That's
tinking.
what we were doing.
Well, I wasn't tinking. I ripped lace back 4 rows because I was doing feather and fan
Oh yeah. You were
on
talking
my
about
on that Helen Stewart pattern that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll show it next time because I've made more progress
that.
through
And
that.
what is
color.
that again? I'm trying to remember what you're making. What is?
It's from Knit Vent last year.
Uh-huh.
It's a shawl.
Oh yes,
Knit
yes,
Vent.
the one with your the Hue Loco.
Vignette. Yeah,
The Hue Loco
one. Yeah,
set. Yeah, I
the
remember
vignette
now.
shawl.
Yeah.
Wrap or something. Vignette. But anyway, it's
Yeah.
vignette.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. But yeah, I was doing feather and fan, and I got to the end of the row of like how you have one row of lace and you've got 3 blank rows,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do another row of lace,
Mm-hmm.
and your next row of lace has to line up exactly your feathers and your fans.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't
The
feather
middle
or
of
fan.
Which one do you call the where it comes together with the decreases? Is that your feather? Or is
I
that
think
your
that's the feather.
That's the feather? Okay, so like, I always make sure that the middle of my feathers line up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you know you're on track.
Yeah.
No problemo. Okay, so I got to the second row, making sure everything lined up. But I didn't really pay attention after, like it lined up for the first half of the shawl. No problem, I go to the
You
end.
figured it was the same. Yeah.
And
Like,
at the
cool,
end of the
good.
first row, I had like extra stitches. But I mean, sometimes that happens in a shawl, right?
Right.
Like,
And you're like,
you're-
I forgot to
this
increase.
large-
I increased too many. Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're in this
yeah.
long garter panel,
Yeah.
and like, okay, fine. Like I made one or whatever. I don't care. All right, and I'm just gonna fudge it at the end of the row, so that the stitch count is right. Then I got to the end of the second row, and it was off the other direction by exactly the same number of stitches.
Oh.
And I looked at my lace, and I had done 2 sets of fan eyelets in a row.
Yeah.
Like
that'll do
60%
it.
of the way through the row.
Oh.
And I was like, how can I fix this? And I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't fix
you really
this.
can't.
Can't
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to pull it back.
Yeah.
Either all of my lace would totally be off because
Yeah.
you can't make a ginormous fan
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the middle. Like, it would just look weird.
Yeah.
It would always look weird. So,
Uh,
instead of tinking back and ripping out all the rows,
Mm-hmm.
I just went to right before I made that mistake and left the stitches on the end and pulled out 4 rows
And then reknit
in
them up.
between and then knit them back up again.
Yeah. That's the way you fix it without tinking back every single row.
Yeah, you go back to where your garter, and then
Mm-hmm.
just for a section of it. So you're not going over 200 stitches. You're only going over like 50.
Yeah, you drop down essentially like
Yeah.
50 stitches, have an enormous tangle of floaty
spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the back,
We're very careful about which spaghetti goes with the next
Which
row.
strand? Yep.
Yep.
What's spaghetti number one?
But yeah, so that worked fine. Except now I have slack on those rows at the end.
It'll end
I know
up
it'll
blocking
block
out. Unless you have a lot of slack, in which case you can just sit there and like...
I'm gonna have to do that because
Feed
the
it
first
along a
row I
little
did, I was picking up with a smaller size needle,
Mm-hmm.
and I just knit back across with a smaller size needle.
Oh yeah,
and
so
that
you
was a
got a little bit
mistake.
of slack.
Oh.
But you're like, how much of a difference can it make?
It
Apparently
can make a lot. It can make about 4 inches of difference at the end.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, I can still just
You
go
can also
through.
weave it in. Why don't you just weave it in like
You
it's
could
in?
break it and weave it in if you
I
wanted
could.
to.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I would
I
probably do
don't
that.
know. We'll see how it looks at the end. See how much
Yeah.
blocks out the first time.
Well, and if you have yarn overs, you can get a lot of slack into those yarn overs.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course you
But then
can.
they get bigger too, so.
Yeah, but then
They're
that
really
down.
tiny right now.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
little.
so then,
They're
then
little
maybe,
guys.
yeah, that does make sense.
But I fixed it, and I finished all the feather and fan, and now it all lines up. And magically, I didn't have extra stitches at all to begin with.
They just
So-
were, your feathers were in the wrong place.
Yes, that
Like,
happens.
but whatever.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what our question was last time.
Yes.
And
And our winner.
Our winner.
So our question last time was, oh yeah, this was fun, and people had amazing suggestions, as always. We said, because we were talking about our new woobles last time, what should woobles woobleize?
Yes.
Like, what do you want to see made into a
Oh my
wooble?
god, you guys had cute.
Also noting that we have zero influence with woobles.
Yes.
But you know what? Maybe we'll send them
But maybe we send them the list and say, here's what our
Here's what
viewers
the Yarnia crowd
Yes.
would like to
and the
see.
Yarnia fans want.
Yeah. So there were a lot of fun ones. And our winner, drawn at random, is Linda Nixon, WS4GE, who said she would like a flamingo wooble, and also she loved my sweater. Thank you. I got so many compliments on my Malin.
Yeah.
I really, thanks guys. It was so sweet. I love it too. I really do. Another sweater I'm going to wear heavily in the fall.
Yes.
That, like, I got
It's
to
a
wear
fall sweater.
once, you know. But
Yeah.
what can you do? What can
That's
you do?
all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
I love the idea of a flamingo.
Yeah, isn't that cute? That would
I
be
love it.
Yeah, definitely take a look through the comments on, episode number, haha,
Oh God. 150.
No.
lower.
We would make a big deal. of
150 is going to be a big deal,
No,
remember?
But like, I don't know. 140.
No.
30?
Oh my goodness.
Jesus Christ.
148.
148.
Yeah.
So last episode was 147, and that's where the cute wobble suggestions are.
Yes.
If you want to go back
And
and see
actually, so when we were discussing last time, I had suggested, oh my goodness, Pokemon.
them. Yes.
Yes.
And then we were like, okay, don't say anything else. I had something in my mind that I was like, oh my goodness, this would be perfect. But I didn't say it.
Huh?
Someone mentioned it in the comments. Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
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 You know what? I want a Ponyo.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want like one of the little dust berries.
Yeah. There's-
Yes.
And they do a lot of collabs.
They do
with
collabs.
different brands
Yeah.
and things.
I just saw the Minecraft collab.
Yeah,
Minecraft
yeah.
Club's cute.
That's really cute.
Jonathan is like keeps getting targeted ads for the because clearly it's listening to me around his phone for the Lord of the Rings ones.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, "Wait, are Rubles the things, or it's the little it's the tiny Gandalf and the Balrog?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yes.
He's like,
yes,
"Can I?"
yes.
I'm like, "No."
Yeah,
I'm, I'm not making you one.
He
Oh,
could
you
do
could,
it.
You could.
He can learn.
I told him he needs
That's
to do it.
true. That's
Yeah.
so true. Yeah, that's the point
Currently,
of Rubles.
he's making us all luggage tags, needlepoint luggage tags.
Oh, very nice.
That's very nice.
Yeah,
That's
it's very
That's
cute.
cool. Yeah.
Ollie got a Wolverhampton logo
Aw.
because that's his soccer team.
Tell me when he takes commissions.
I was gonna say he might be. What do you need?
Yeah, that's a
Well,
great
I need
idea.
a Man United.
Oh.
He might not take that commission.
He might take that commission, but he might have to do it after Ollie goes to bed because I asked Ollie the other day,
I mean,
and I was
they're
like,
not great this year. Sorry.
"No, actually, I think he's fine with Man United. He can't stand Man City. No, wait,
Yeah.
One of them is like the sworn enemy, and
Liverpool?
I can't remember if it's Man United or Man City.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think
Which one is light blue?
City.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think nobody feels anything but pity for Man U this year.
Yeah.
Bless their hearts.
I just remember I was at one point, I can't remember when I was talking to Chad, but Chad, and I was like, "Oh, I have to go home to, Ollie's watching the soccer game." And he's like, "Yeah!" and it was
He's so
Very
enthusiastic.
Wolves versus
Yes.
Man, and then we were watching it and Ollie was so happy. And I was like, oh, Chad is going to be so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
You knew how the rest of my day went.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So I just have to show this to Jen because she saw my unhappy underarm before. Look how much better that looks.
Oh my gosh, so much better.
Sometimes we don't follow the directions in the pattern.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's our question this week?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So our question this week is, and those of you who saw the beginning of the episode, no, Jen and I were talking about neutrals earlier. I was saying how like gold is kind of a neutral for me. Kind of goes with everything I have, and it's not like too intense a color.
Yeah.
Green is a neutral for Jen.
My army green.
Is there something that you find to be a neutral that most people would not call neutral?
Yeah.
Or do you think neutrals really are only like black, white, gray, brown?
What's your color that's in neutral?
Yeah, do you have
That's
a color
a color.
that's your neutral that like is works with everything in your wardrobe?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I define it, that it really works with everything.
I think that works with everything. What do you think, Amanda?
For me?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, I am a hardcore black wearer.
Yeah. Same.
So,
Same. Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
the reason I'm wearing this is because I was wearing entirely black.
I feel like I know what your neutral would be.
I would say pink.
Pink.
yeah,
And
but
actually,
no, I
this
feel like
pink.
Dale
it's
of Black Pearl Magic, I have also heard
No,
her
not
say
that
pink
pink.
is her
This is too
neutral.
lavender. This
And
pink.
she's not
Yes.
the only one.
This pink.
that pink.
Yeah.
This pink is Amanda's neutral.
Yeah. Yeah.
or what?
Peachy pink.
What else do you think?
No, I think that if I was if I had a neutral, but then black would be a color.
Well,
you can have more than
multiple
one.
neutrals. You have
Yeah.
multiple neutrals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. I don't know. I wear a lot of colors though.
Like
So-
my neutrals, I would say that I default to are gray, black, and army green.
Yeah. The other thing, yeah, because I don't wear a lot of denim either. I don't wear a lot of blue jeans.
No, you don't. I wear a lot of jeans.
Yeah.
I'm
Jeans are kind of
50-50
my
on the
default.
jeans.
My default pant.
I was
And
about
then
to say,
skirts, I do. Different.
my default neutral is Lululemon leggings. So, like, everything goes with that regardless of color. Like, whatever.
Sure.
There you
True.
go. There you go.
True. So what's your neutral? Viewers, please.
Yes. Let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know.
And what will they get?
They will get their choice of any of our skins of Nick Flash.
That is a good prize, you guys.
That is a good prize.
Yeah.
So,
That's nice.
yeah, I know, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for our little TINKFEST.
TINKFEST, I love it. Yeah.
Our
I'm
TINKFEST.
glad I joined y'all on the team.
I'm
I
glad you got
know.
to
So
join
glad
us
you
for
got to
sure.
join in.
Yep.
Yay. Maybe not necessarily the tinking part, but like.
Well,
that's
I did my lace ripping.
You
did
did
Yeah,
lace
we
ripping.
all-
It
we all
was
did tinking tonight. It was truly a TINKFest.
It was a TINKFest.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us. Please follow us online. You can follow us here. You can like and subscribe and click the alarm bell, and you'll get notifications when we post new videos and when we get our lives
Yes.
together and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
And also, don't forget that, if you saw it earlier and didn't act on it right away,
Yes.
today is Knit for Food.
Today is
Knit
Knit
for
for Food.
Food.
Right.
Come knit with me in store if you're around. Don't forget, if you're coming to the store, bring canned goods for our community food banks.
Yep.
And yeah, looking forward to raising a lot of money
Yes,
for
indeed.
food insecurity.
And we are Shop Yarnia everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, online. So you can find us there. And until next time, we will see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.